بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سعادة الشيخة هلا بنت محمد الخليفة، مدير عام الثقافة والفنون، هيئة الثقافة، هيئة البحرين الثقافة والآثار. سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور رياض يوسف حمزة، رئيس جامعة البحرين. يا هلا وسهلا فيكم أعزائنا الحضور جميعا من مدارس وأخصائيين وتربويين وزملاء وإعلاميين وأساتذة ودكاترة. الله يعطيكم العافية جميعا على هذا الحضور، الله يعطيكم العافية جميعا على هذا يعني التشريف في هذه اللقاء الممتع إن شاء الله اللي راح يكون ويانا ونحن نطلق ونعلن هذه الفعالية. يمكن متعودين عادة أن أنا يكون عندي ورقة وأقرأ منها، والدكتور والشيخة متعودين علي في الإيفنتات أن أكون موجود وياهم. اليوم أختي العزيزة مريم أو الأستاذة مريم هي اللي قاعد تطلق هذه الفعالية، فارتئيت أن ما يكون عندي أي نوع من الأوراق عشان يطلع الكلام من القلب إلى القلب. لطالما يعني في ال20 سنة الماضية أديت الكثير من المناسبات الرسمية والإعلامية للبحرين للمملكة من تشريف ومن تكليف. اليوم لها نكهة ثانية وطابع ثاني أيضا في حكم العائلة ومحيط العائلة والفخر اللي يرتبط بهذا الموضوع. Your Excellency شيخة هلا بنت محمد الخليفة, the Director General of Culture and Arts, Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities. Your Excellency Professor Riyad Yusuf Hamza, President of the University of Bahrain. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you all very much for being part of the inauguration ceremony of this beautiful, I would say, journey that my sister Mariam has started. And I was explaining just in Arabic that usually for the past 20 plus odd years, I've been privileged to MC a great deal of events, and I'm usually much more well prepared with my papers and notes and last minute requests before we actually get on stage or before we're actually on air. But I chose this time not to have any of that, and I chose to sort of MC the event without any papers, just to show that element of pride and just to ensure that whatever I'm going to say comes straight from the heart to the heart. So without further ado, I'd start, and I will be going ahead with a bit of English and Arabic to balance. I know that the whole program was actually set to be in English, but let's not forget that we're in the Kingdom of Bahrain and we need the Arabic language also to kind of be keen for it to be supported. So I would start by saying, في يوم من الأيام قصص الكثير من القصص اللي كتبت وألفت وأتقنت بدأت هذه البداية في يوم من الأيام، بعضها أصبح تراثيا وبعضها عالمي، الكثير منها أبهرنا ويعني وأصبحت تدرس جيل بعد جيل. لكن السؤال اللي لطالما كان مثل ما نقول إحنا يلوح في الأذهان، يعني من وين جات الفكرة؟ شلون اللي فكروا في اللي كتبوها فكروا فيها؟ من ألفها؟ من ألهمهم؟ من عطاهم الفكر؟ من عطاهم الوعي؟ من وين جابوا هذه الأفكار؟ الكثير من الأسئلة دائما تلوح في الأذهان. ومثل ما احنا نقول التجربة هذه اللي اختارتها الأستاذة مريم الفتح واتبعت شعار التعليمي في الصغر مثل النقش في الحجر، كانت خير بادرة لهذه خلينا نقول المسيرة اللي هي راح تبتديها اليوم وتنطلق معاها طبعا في الأيام القادمة. فشلون فكروا ومن ألهمهم؟ So ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time, and thousands of stories start this way. Many have become part of our cultures, and many of them have become international stories that have inspired us and motivated us. But there is always a question that was asked. How did the writers or the authors think about them? Where did they get it from? What ideas were created and how? So basically, in short, who inspired them? And this is how the journey of young authors by Mariam Abul Fath started. So let me tell you the story. Once upon a time. Or you know what? How about we see this video because it actually tells us the story.
Once upon a time, there were 3 fairies that lived in a nice house and had a river next to the house.
Kids have a way with telling stories. They're full of creativity and imagination. It was to my surprise that an 8-year-old can produce a story that she has fantasized.
One day, the fairy saw a magic flower. The flower belonged to the dinosaur.
Their words are so simple, yet deep in thoughts, deep in imaginations. What's amazing is that they don't think twice, they just write.
The dinosaur passed by and found the fairy holding the flower. He asked if he can take his flower back. The fairy said,
"The flower was in the backyard."
He said,
"I passed by and it fell from my pocket."
There must be other kids out there that can produce something as such, or maybe they can write even better. It's never too early to go beyond limits for a brighter beginning, if only we provide them with an opportunity to express themselves.
So the fairy returned back the flower and they lived happily ever after.
It was clear in my head, a free-themed book where students can write stories about everything. It aimed to build self-esteem and self-confidence in the writing ability of kids. This book plants the love of writing, yet it also encourages them to read. Children can easily relate to the stories from this book since they come out from the minds of children from the same age. Young authors, where inspirational journeys begin.
That's how the story began. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Her Excellency, our patron, Sheikha Hala bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, the Director General of Culture and Arts, Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, to probably say a few words and probably to give this event a contrast. Sheikha, if we can have your words. I think you've prepared something in Arabic to give our program a beautiful contrast between the importance of both languages. The floor is yours. Allah يسلمك. تفضلي.
شكرا جزيلا هشام، شكرا جزيلا. مساء الخير جميعا، سعيدة جدا بالمشاركة معكم هذا المساء. الأستاذة مريم، كل الفخر للمبادرة الرائعة اللي قمتي فيها. بالفعل الكتاب الجميل لما وصلني المكتب يعني استوقفتني تفاصيل كثيرة، من الغلاف إلى مضمون الكتاب، إلى الطلبة، صورهم، كلماتهم، قصصهم، إلى الباب اللي فتحتيه من خلال هذه المبادرة للمشاركة بالكلمة الجميلة والقصة الجميلة لإطلاق العنان لمخيلة أبنائنا. فهذه مبادرة رائعة جدا، وأتمنى لكم خالص التوفيق في النسخ القادمة. وربما كان حديث خاص بيني وبين الأستاذة مريم أن أنا سعيدة جدا بحصولي على نسخة من هذا الكتاب القيم، وأتمنى أن يكون لهيئة البحرين للثقافة والآثار الفرصة أن نقوم بترجمة الكتاب إلى اللغة العربية، إيمانا منا بأن لغتنا لابد أن تصان وتحفظ وتستغل إلى أبعد مدى. وطبعا الأطفال وكلنا يعني في زمن عولمة وفي زمن تتغلب فيه اللغة الإنجليزية على اللغة العربية، ولكن بجهودنا جميعا ممكن الحفاظ عليها ونطلق نسخ جديدة. ولكن أنا سعيدة جدا بإعطاء أبنائنا الطلبة هذه الفرصة للحديث بكلماتهم بتعبيرهم في هذا الكتاب الرائع. I will say a couple of words to our English audience. I'm very delighted to be part of this launch this evening. I have received the book with a great deal of pleasure and happiness as well, to see the young authors, to see their imagination, their words come together in this beautiful publication. I congratulate Mariam, her team, all the students who have participated. I understand that so many schools are with us this evening, and this is really a wonderful opportunity to be creative and to understand the power of words. And from my role as Director General at the Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, I'll do anything possible to create the same book but in the Arabic language. I'm a firm believer of holding on to the essence of our identity and our language, and I believe this is a wonderful start, and I look forward to seeing an Arabic volume of the same book translated by us, and with supporting our kids to be articulate as well in the Arabic language. I'd like to thank everyone for being with us today. ألف شكر هشام، سعيدة جدا بحضوري معكم هذا المساء. شكرا جزيلا.
Allah يعطيك العافية وتشريف ما بعد تشريف الله يسلمك. And thank you very much. We are beyond honored, Sheikh Hala, because we echo what you said. And thank you very much for saving me the effort of translation, by the way. So thank you very much for that. I'd like also to welcome right now Professor Riyad Yusuf Hamza, the president of the University of Bahrain, to say a few words, because Maryam, in her role as well, even though she acted on this individually, but the support that she has received from the University of Bahrain, since she is also the research and teaching assistant of the College of Applied Science Studies in the University of Bahrain, was a beautiful, beautiful and tremendous support. So thank you, Professor Riyad, and may I invite you to also say a few words, please, marking this occasion.
شكرا جزيلا. مساكم الله بالخير. الحضور الكريم، فخور جدا أني أكون معكم هذا المساء في تدشين هذا العمل الرائع الأستاذة مريم. حقيقة فاجأتني بالجامعة لما أرسلت الكتاب، ويعني نتمنى لها حقيقة كل النجاح والتوفيق، وأتمنى أن نشوف إن شاء الله أعمال أخرى رائعة مثل هذا العمل. المنظمون للحفل طلبوا مني أن ألقي كلمة باللغة الإنجليزية، فأنا إذا تسمحوا لي أنتقل إلى اللغة الإنجليزية. Your Excellency Sheikha Hala bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, Director General of Culture and Arts at the Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, distinguished guests, good evening to you all. Laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age, and dreams are forever. So said the illustrious and imaginative film producer Walt Disney. We are all gathered here today to celebrate the imagination. Imagination removes all the limitations and creates limitless opportunities. The art of living begins with imagination, for nothing new can be done or made without first imagining it. Once imagined, the possibilities are endless. To cherish that imagination in our children is a goal that does a great service to our future generations. The University of Bahrain is so proud of the steps taken toward achieving this goal by Ms. Maryam Ali Abul Fatah, the General Director of Young Authors for Education and Training, the Research and Teaching Assistant in our College of Applied Studies, who has devoted her time and efforts to collecting fine examples of the workings of the imagination of some of our children. She has gathered a number of stories written by budding young authors and compiled them into a new book entitled Young Authors' Stories, so that we may all celebrate these precious imaginings of our young artists. To accept the challenge of writing a story can be an exhilarating experience. To actually put it all down on paper and finish it can be daunting. So we are also here to celebrate the achievements of these young artists who have written these stories and have allowed us to share them. Picasso once said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is to remain an artist once they grow up." This is the difficulty that many of us face. Too often, as we mature and are faced with our daily realities and responsibilities, we learn to neglect such imaginings or dismiss them as irrelevant or insignificant. That is why a book like this is so important. It helps us to remember the wonder of our first artistic creations and the unbridled joy and expanse of the child's imagination. I would like to thank Ms. Maryam Ali Abulfath for her contribution towards acknowledging our future artists and writers, and to thank the illustrators who created pictures to represent each story. I'd like to thank and congratulate the parents who engaged these young writers to pursue creative outlets. You must be very proud of your children and their achievements. I would like to thank Her Excellency Sheikha Hala bint Mohammed Al Khalifa for her patronage and enthusiasm in focusing the spotlight on such inspirational and worthy projects and endeavors. Thank you very much. I hope this book will give you all as much pleasure as it has given me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Riyad Yusuf Hamza, the President of the University of Bahrain, and thank you for your words of encouragement, and thank you for the support that you've given Maryam during the past period. Maryam was delighted. I think we had a conversation, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when she said I left. There were two very lengthy conversations that Maryam had with me on the phone, to be honest. One was when she left, when I think it was when Sheikh Hala spoke to her Qaida in person, and all these journey of the 1,000 mile was actually taking the first step, and it was said by Sheikh Hala herself. And then it was when she left your office, Professor Riyad. She was like, I can't believe how much I'm proud to be working for such a place where even the work that I did kind of individually has now been kind of fully supported and embraced with my new job, even though I just spent a couple of months kind of in this job. But this is the University of Bahrain, my home, everyone's home. So thank you for that, Professor Riyad. It's really, really appreciated.
It's my pleasure.
So again, without papers, without notes, the beautiful thing about this book is it was created by the kids, for the kids themselves. So they told their stories, they spoke, they inspired us. And trust me, even Maryam was telling me that even though she compiled this book and read every story, she was telling me, Hisham, believe it or not, I actually learned vocabularies from third graders and fourth graders, to be honest. So you could just imagine how much we get inspired and motivated by people who sometimes we underestimate. But the power of words and the power of writing and the energy that has to come from beyond is really exerted in this book. So congratulations to everybody who actually contributed to this book. And I think the best thing to do is to hear it from them. They all came, all the students came, they all took a copy of their book, took their photographs, and it was done on Book Distribution Day of Young Author Stories with all the participants. So I believe these words come straight from the heart of the people or from the young authors. So let's view this video.
Khan International School,
نهلية School,
St. Christopher School,
مدرسة النسيم, Modern Knowledge School, Khan School, Ibn Khaldun National School, MKS Modern Knowledge Schools, مدرسة AMA.
قصص المؤلفون الصغار هو كتاب ذو موضوع حر يحتوي على 109 قصص كتبوها طلاب من المرحلة الابتدائية من 10 مدارس خاصة في مملكة البحرين.
My novel was about this boy called Andrew Ian. It was based around Greek mythology. So at the time when I was writing this, we were studying Greek mythology in class, and so I just wrote it about that and how there were these like monsters and how he fought them off, basically.
قصتي اسمها
When I first started writing, I really fell in love with it, and ever since I've just had a real passion for it. I've never really had to plan what I was writing or force myself to like English lessons.
The Baby Bear and the Mysterious Intruder.
The story that I did is about bullying. I wrote the story because a lot of children in the world get bullied, and I wrote it because I wanted to encourage them to tell a trusted adult.
When I'm older, I'd really like to write a novel as well as pursue a career in sport. Actually, at first, I didn't really think that this was like a big thing. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna write a story, send it to my teacher, send it to someone else, and yeah, it's gonna be done. But after, when I was told that this is all going to happen, I was like, okay, wow, I did not know this.
قصتي عن واحدة اسمها جريس. هي يعني بنية يعني وايد تستحي وما تحب تسولف ويا ناس وايد.
I was so happy to find out that I was one of the 100 kids to be in this book.
The reason why ProLab participated in this, we see it as an investment for the future into the young, to give them a channel where they can express themselves and show their innovation and their great ideas. For us, it's really an honor to be part of this, and it continues with our company's philosophy to share knowledge.
And so when I wrote the story, it was about a child who was a complete foreigner to this tribe of indigenous people, and like how he had how it wasn't accepting of him for like to join this place, and like how he learned to be accepted.
I probably will continue to write more stories, but I do want to own my own restaurant when I'm older. So I'll probably just write like recipes, like a recipe book or something.
احنا فخورين بهاية إن هي قدرت تعمل الستوري دي، وفخورين بالنشاط اللي عملته مس مريم إن هي تنشر ديت. وعلى حسب ما أنا فهمت من هيا إن هي متحمسة إن هي تكمل في التجربة دي، وإن يكون لها كتابات أكتر في المستقبل.
My story is called The Killer Shark. It's about me and my two best friends going on an adventure and finding a shark.
Well, I either want to be an actress or an author, and I want to write many kids books, like maybe mystery or fantasy.
التجربة ككل تركت أثر جدا ممتاز، إن البنت عندها self confident أكتر.
The story's name is called The Bees. It's inspired me to write it because I used to love watching scary movies.
So happy about they will publish my story all around Bahrain.
What inspired me, it's because people get treated differently. So I tried to make a story about a man he was screaming for help, he needed food and he was poor. So me and my cousin Yasmin, she's also my best friend, we helped him.
I just really like writing because it's like creating a world of your own that's just from your imagination and no one else can take that from you.
أتمنى من أولياء الأمور يحفزون عيالهم للمشاركة في هذه الإيفنتات، لأن لما لها أهمية في إظهار مواهب عيالهم وصقلها في المستقبل. حبيت أشكر كل الجهات اللي ساعدتنا على إخراج هاي الكتاب بالصورة المشرفة. حبيت أشكر المدارس على ثقتهم في هاي الكتاب. حبيت أشكر الأهالي على دعمهم للأطفال. حبيت أشكر الأطفال على ثقتهم في نفسهم. وحبيت أشكر الداعمين مصرف السلام، تمكين، برولاب على دعمهم لهذا المشروع. هاي المشروع أطمح أنه هو يستمر وما يكون الإصدار الأول ويوقف عند هالحد. هاي مجرد الجزء الأول، وإن شاء الله كل سنة ممكن يكون في إصدار، وإن شاء الله يوم من الأيام يطلع من كتاب قصص المؤلفون الصغار كاتب ويقول إنه كانت بدايته في هاي المشروع.
Well, those are the words coming straight from the hearts and the minds and the tongues and the mouths of the students who actually created that book. So the beautiful thing about the book is if you look at it from end to end, there is nothing there that has not been said by the children. themselves. And this is what makes the book so unique, so unique. So I think it's about time to hear what the General Director of Young Authors for Education and Training, who is also the Research and Teaching Assistant, College of Applied Studies, University of Bahrain, Mrs. Mariam Ali Abul Fatih, has to say about how, why, and where did all this kind of come from. Mariam, floor is yours.
Thank you, Hisham. السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سعادة الشيخة هلا بنت محمد آل خليفة، مدير عام الثقافة والفنون بهيئة البحرين للثقافة والآثار، راعي حفل التدشين الافتراضي. سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور رياض يوسف حمزة، رئيس جامعة البحرين، ضيف الشرف لهذا الحفل. حضرة الضيوف الأفاضل، الأخوة والأخوات المشاركين، يسعدني ويشرفني أن أرحب بكم في الحفل التدشين الافتراضي لكتاب Young Author Stories، وأشكركم حقيقة على تلبية هذه الدعوة، واسمحوا لي أن أقدم هذه الكلمة باللغة الإنجليزية. Your Excellency, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the virtual launching ceremony of Young Author Stories. Today is a milestone for Young Author Stories. It is the day that celebrates a vision taking form. This is a memorable moment, not just to me, but to the parents who are proud of their children and the children who are proud of themselves. It has been my dream to accomplish this book project that has provided the opportunity for students to publish their stories. Young Author Stories is a free-themed book where students have written stories about everything. It's an influential means that drives students at the elementary level to express themselves and reveal their inner inspiration through writing. Young authors will share their thoughts with the world, and more children will be inspired and encouraged to write. Allow me to speak directly to the young authors of this book and the many others. It's never too early to go beyond limits for a brighter beginning, where creativity rules, where imaginations are the keys to unlock your dreams, where you become writers and begin your journeys. I take pride in dedicating this book to all of you and to the soul of our young author, Sami Al-Saleh, who was once as inspired as you are. May his soul rest in peace. I take this opportunity to thank you, Your Excellency, Sheikha Hala bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, Director General of Culture and Arts at the Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, for your patronage of this virtual ceremony and your trust in this project. I thank you, Your Excellency, Professor Riyad Yusuf Hamza, President of the University of Bahrain, for your presence and support as a guest of honor. I thank Her Excellency Sheikha Noura bint Khalifa Al Khalifa, CEO of Midpoint and the Nine Training Center, for supporting this virtual event. I thank you, dear guests, for your participation in this virtual event. I'd like to thank the sponsors, El Salam Bank, Temkeen, and ProLab Systems, for their trust in this project and generous support. I thank my family and friends for providing me with constant support and encouragement throughout my journey towards this publication. I thank the participating schools for taking part without hesitation, and parents for having trust in their kids. And last but not least, I thank you, young authors, for believing in yourselves and being part of this project. I congratulate you for such an achievement, but remember, this is not the end of it. It's just the beginning of your journeys. May God help us linger this fruitful cooperation for the good of our nation to benefit our beloved kingdom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mariam, and well done. Thank you. And I think these words have come straight from your heart as well. And your dream has come true with the compiled book altogether, that we're all here supporting and celebrating you as one big extended family. I think this is time for the sponsors. I think we've got a few words to be said by them. So let's make it a conversational kind of few words rather than speeches. I think Mona Al-Blushi, who is the head of HR and administration at As-Salam Bank, who are thankfully the gold sponsors. I think if Mona is here online with us, and I'm sure she is. So the mic is yours, Mona.
طبعا بداية السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أود أن أشكر طبعا في البداية راعية الحفل سعادة الشيخة هلا بنت علي محمد آل خليفة مدير عام الثقافة والفنون بهيئة البحرين للثقافة والآثار، وطبعا أشكر ضيف شرف الحفل الكريم الدكتور رياض يوسف حمزة رئيس جامعة البحرين، وطبعا الأستاذة مريم علي أبو الفتح المدير العام لمؤسسة المؤلفون الصغار ومساعد بحث وتدريس بكلية التعليم التطبيقي بجامعة البحرين، وطلابنا ومؤلفينا الصغار على المبادرة الطيبة هذه. حبيت أنقل لكم طبعا جميعا تحيات الرئيس التنفيذي للمشروع المجموعة الأستاذ رفيق النايض والإدارة التنفيذية ومباركتهم لهذا الحفل الكريم. وحبيت أشكر مؤلفينا الصغار ونتمنى لهم طبعا كل التوفيق في هذه الخطوة اللي هي مبادرة حق خطوات مستقبلية إن شاء الله راح تكون فيها اكتشاف لمواهب أخرى لهذا الجيل الناشئ. ومما لا يخفى طبعا مصرف السلام دائما دأب على دعم مثل هذه المشاريع الاجتماعية التي تساهم في دعم خلينا نقول الفئة المبتكرة أو الفئة الناشئة عندنا اللي هي فئة الأطفال أو فئة الصغار في دعم هذه المبادرات الطيبة. وفي النهاية نتمنى كل التوفيق والنجاح لأبناء المؤلفين الصغار، نطلع على مزيد من هذه المبادرات المحفزة على خلق طبعا جيل مبتكر ومفكر في مملكتنا العزيزة. شكرا.
الله يعطيك العافية. شكرا يا الزميلة العزيزة منى والصديقة، يعطيك ألف عافية على هذا الكلام الجميل وعلى هذا السبورت، وشكرا لبنك السلام على رعايتهم ووقفتهم مع Young Authors. أيضا كان هناك كلمة بسيطة جدا من تمكين وصوني بس أن أتكلم باسمهم بأنهم يشكرون هذا يعني يشكرون هذا المجهود، وفي نفس الوقت دعم لا محدود مو بس المؤلفين مستقبل إن شاء الله رواد المستقبل بإذنه تعالى. وأيضا كلمة بسيطة جدا لProLab Systems للأستاذ زيد. Mr. Zaid, Mushki Managing Director, ProLab Systems, thank you very much for your support. And I think we'd like to hear from you, providing us with all this beautiful, technical, illustrative, and amazing support throughout this journey.
Yeah, you know, the word I reserved for you, I just wanted to let you know and to let the audience know. Actually, when we did first meet and you gave a presentation about the topic, it was at the launch of Cartoon Planet. Immediately, that your direction and initiation, you know, captured me because we had a lot of synergy. And what it is our company actually, our sponsorship from ProLab System was really not just only geared as sponsorship on an initiative that is really very excellent, but it's also very passionate to actually our core. And what is our core is that in our philosophy, we share knowledge. So we do conduct workshop, training, seminars, you know, to the industrial and research sector. And these customers are like Aramco, SABIC, Ma'aden, and so on. And once hearing your speech at the Cartoon Planet launch, so one of the speakers, I immediately knew how we can connect our share of knowledge, you know, coming from industry to research to the youth. And you were that bridge. And it was so phenomenal because also in science, we actually bring everybody together. There is no boundaries and there is no indifference. And your topic that actually has brought everyone together from all backgrounds. And it is, if you look the milestones that you have actually accomplished by this book, it is not only to bring the innovation, the creation, the confidence of children, but you're uniting all backgrounds, you're uniting their family, and it is the tomorrow that we're looking towards. So for me, I have seen all that, and believe me, we will, and everybody will, continue discovering to understand what you have touched on. It is so sensitive, but it is so great and uniting everyone with all these smiles. It is unparalleled. So for that reason, I can tell you ProLab system is really proud of you, what you have accomplished, and we are very honored to have joined you part of your journey, and we will always be there for you.
It's a great thanks and appreciation goes to Zaid for his unbelievable support throughout this journey from inception till production. So and we always need to give credit when it's due, and this was one of the big credits goes to ProLab Systems. So it's time for the group photos before we go to the final before we conclude this session. I think we've got the group photos. Mariam and the technical team, I think you want to do the group photos in 4 groups. So group 1 is the British School, Bahrain, St. Christopher's, and Ibn Khaldun National School. So if we can have you on screen, and if we can definitely have you, this is your time, wave, cheer, say whatever you want, no worries. And get ready, group 2, Modern Knowledge and Ahliya, and then group 3, Abdurrahman Kano and Naseem, group 4, AMA, Hawar, and Arabian Pearl Gulf.
Hello, everyone. So we can have the group photos for now. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have group 2? Thank you, group 1, for joining us. Hello, group 3. Well done. Bye. Thank you for joining us. Can we have group 4? Hi, Zaina. Hi, everyone. Hi, Nov. Do we have everyone from group 4? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Bye, group 4. Did we miss any of the groups? Technical team?
Hi, Mouse.
Hi, Miss. Hi.
Well done, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 But I'm looking at concluding the ceremony right now. But before I do, I need to revert back to Mariam, and I would like sort of a final few words coming out of your mouth, from your heart, to all the people who have helped you towards your journey.
Thank you, Hisham. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And it was a pleasure having these young authors, and it was a pleasure having you on this ceremony. I would like to thank each and every one of you, and I would like to thank my parents, my husband, for his tremendous support. I would like to thank you, Hisham, also for having my back at all times. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mariam, and well done. Congratulations on behalf of everybody. This is the Instagram account, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, young.authors.book. If you can log on, follow, tag, mention, encourage, and engage, we would love that, because the young authors deserve all of our support. Special thanks goes to all the school. I'll mention them again: the British School, Bahrain, St. Christopher's School, Ibn Khaldun, Modern Knowledge, Ahliya, Abdurrahman Kano, Naseem, AMA School, Hawar, and Arabian Pearl Gulf. You believed in this process. You believed in the realization of this book. Thank you. And as Mariam said, don't worry. We'll be back this year. The year has already started, so 2021's version is actually happening very soon, sooner than expected. And Sheikha Hala definitely taking you up on the offer about having it now this year, both in English and Arabic at the same time, inshallah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the moment where we have to conclude. Words of appreciation are not enough. Words of admiration are not enough. To all of you who are here, to all of the people who made this happen, to the sponsors, to young authors themselves, to the patronage, to the guest of honor, to every single person who came today and will come in the future, congratulations. Allah yahfadkum. And we'd like to close this story by saying, and everybody lived happily ever after. Thank you very much. Ma'as salam.